Hello, Michael. Thank you for your presentation. And hello, everybody. Very welcome to be here today with us at Bflex Italia. I am very excited to stay with you today. And I thank you very much, all the people connected from all around the world, especially people from the United States of America, where they just got up. So, very welcome here. And welcome to all our distributors and customers. Today, we will talk about the new opportunities in the HTV world. HTV means heat transfer vinyl, and that's exactly what Mike said. We are heat transfer vinyl manufacturers since 2005. Just a brief story how the heat transfer vinyl was born. The idea was roughly of 30 years ago, started 20 years ago, exactly here in Italy. First, there was only the flock material existing on the market to press on the garments and to decorate the sports apparatus. But the idea was to commute the flock material into something more elastic and less thick. So the point was to transform this material and to try to coat with the heat transfer adhesive, the first very thin layer of PVC. These people succeed in this, and 30 years ago, as said, the heat transfer was born. The transitions after a few years, the transitions from PVC into polyurethane was quite natural. Why? Because the polyurethane is definitely different and has many positive features compared to the PVC. Especially the polyurethane is much more resistant to the washing cycles and the drying cycles, so doesn't crack so easily as the PVC does. And one more thing, as the polyurethane is definitely more eco-friendly and respect the environment much more than a PVC. The polyurethane then can be used on any sort of garment, any kind of textiles, and this is a huge plus for the people who is into the HTV market. So I would like to show you first how, just to give you the panorama of about this material, how the HTV is made. The material is not exactly like this. We are going to use the material usually on the garment. So we have usually a t-shirt, and the first layer going onto the garment is a very thin layer of glue. On the top of this thermal glue, there is a solid polyurethane, usually it's colored of many colors. And then on the top of it, we have the self-adhesive polyester. That is a very thin and clear layer of plastic. How does it work? Well, that's very simple. When you put under the heat press, you have the heat coming from the top. And then when you press the material on the top of a t-shirt, you see that the glue is melted and go into the fibers of the garment as shown in this picture. So having this material so particular, starting as said 25 to 20 years ago, the market changed completely from the screen printing into the decoration done possible with this kind of material. What can we do with this material? Well, we can do almost anything. We need irregular surfaces, so no metal, but all the other kind of products, and you can decorate and you can customize almost anything. Especially, you can start from very basic t-shirts to customize, like for example this one, and then we go to other stuff like I'm out of the camera, like could be the slippers. So something done in a very normal shop, and you can decorate, as said, many different kinds of garments. But talking about the new opportunities in the heat transfer world, we started a few years ago to think about how to decorate different things. Different things like such things like this one, that could be our PVC case, so something that is very flexible and done with different material compared to the regular cotton, or also materials like papers and cartons. So everything is now customizable. Can be customized with the heat transfer vinyl. What kind of customizations can we do? Well, we can do almost everything. And the heat transfer vinyl in the last 5 or 4 years is intended not only to make big numbers or just something written on the t-shirt, but customers and clients started to think out of the box and think how to do something very particular. Something very particular like this kind of t-shirt. As you can see, this t-shirt is done with very, very small dots. And I think you can see it exactly here. But the result of this t-shirt is awesome because you can do something very similar to a screen printing that was unthinkable up to a few years ago. So now how this is possible? Well, first of all, because it's done with a very, very soft and elastic material, as you can see here. And this is especially a material that we call the Gimme 5, and we will talk in a few minutes. And then because the new polyurethane that is existing in especially at Biflex Italia is a polyurethane, a heat transfer material that we manufacture with a very top quality of a product like the grains of a polyurethane. So very high quality and very high technology. To give you an example of what we do with this material, I'm going to prepare and press very fast a material that we will decorate with a special design. And I'm going very fast just to show you how the Gimme 5 works. You can press every kind of liner for just 1 second and then remove the liner like this without waiting too much time, because you can peel off while the material is still hot. So then we take one more layer. Again, we press for the second time just 1 second without waiting the material to cool down. We remove, like here, we remove the liner, and then we go with the third. In this case, I have to spend a few seconds more to match the two colors. And here we are. So 1 second again, and then remove the liner. Okay. Just pay attention because it's burning. It's the temperature here is 140 degrees, and we pressed, as said, for only 1 second. Oops, that's really hot. And we press for only, as said, sorry, I'm going to feel this. It's very hot. Okay. For 1 second, we're gonna put the fifth layer. And again, I press for 1 second. I'd like to cool down a second. Just avoid it to burn my fingers. And then with the very last 2 layers, of the material. And this is to show you basically why we're talking about new opportunities with this material. Because thinking out of the box, you don't have to use this material just to press big numbers or just to press, excuse me people, but it's very, after 6 presses, it's pretty warm. Okay, we are. You just have to think out the box and think that with the heat transfer material. Okay, this is the last layer. You can do really what you want to do. You don't just have to do the normal things that you have done up to a few years ago. And so the material is almost done. Just a very few seconds. The last layer is for 4 seconds. 2, 1. And I peel hot. And this is the results of what I have done with the Gimme 5 heat transfer material. You see, the very few seconds, the last layer. There's no need to do always the same thing, but you can also do something very, very different. The world of heat transfer vinyl is moving toward everything that can be customized. We are working right now with the people working in the fashion world. So we're working with companies like Louis Vuitton and Prada and Under Armour. Just to give you another example of what you can do, the HTV brings us to there's a special decoration that you can do on any kind of surface. It's not necessary that you have just a black t-shirt to decorate, but you can think to something new and you can go towards a new world to decorate. So this is what we are thinking about the world of the heat transfer vinyl. We can do and we can open new territories with these special materials. Moving from the screen printing, still existing and still very important, but the heat transfer materials can do the difference when you have to do special works, especially if you have to do them in a very reduced number of pieces and in order to save money and time. So this is what we mainly have for the HTV world. I know that probably I have a few questions coming. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, Alex, can you bring? Hey, hi, Marco. I was watching that and I was thinking, don't burn yourself, Marco. It's okay. Take your time. But really, thank you for that really good presentation. We had a question from Ola Adeyemi. Would the layering of the vinyl depend on the design?
I'm sorry, Mike. Can you say again?
Yeah, would the layering of the vinyl depend on the design? Because you went through all those steps, etc. But is that quite dependent on the design itself?
Okay, so usually we move from the biggest one and we go to the smallest details, because the big one gives us the idea of the surface we have to do. Okay. And then, so we started with the biggest. We started with the biggest and the widest we have coloring in, and then we go towards the very small details with the layer with less surface.
So creative. So really well done.
Thank you.
What do you think? Because I know if you look at Marco, if you look at the last year. Many people have been starting off in the industry. I know especially in the heat transfer market, it's very popular in the craft industry. Where do you see the real growth opportunities right now?
Well, this is
especially for the HTV?
Sure. Well, it's not easy to answer to this question because, especially because of the last year, this pandemic just shuffled almost everything. But I would say that the growth of this market is huge. Not because, as I said, all the big groups, of fashion groups, discovered a couple of years ago this material, but also because the crafting market is increasing in a great way. Just so can you imagine that so many families, just for a couple of hundreds of euro, can buy a very small cutting plotters at home, manufacturing the t-shirts and anything they like for their kids or for their friends' kids. So it's very easy to understand that this market is destined to move like a rocket towards huge and huge and huge new opportunities. I cannot say exactly. I cannot count how many opportunities we have. It's almost impossible today. But I would say that
exactly, it's limited.
the
Yeah,
industrial and
the only
crafting
limitation is your
market is huge.
creation. Yeah,
Correct.
fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
In terms of in terms of sustainability, do you have a product range for that as well? If someone's looking to be more environmentally conscious when they're heat transferring, if that's a phrase.
Yeah, sure. We decided to move everything into the polyurethane. Polyurethane is a very green, even if it is a plastic, it's considered a plastic, but it's a very green product. So at Bflex Italia, everything is done with the concept of the go green material, respect for the environment, and in the future, I cannot tell you. I'm sorry, I cannot tell you the secrets of the company, but we are looking forward to manufacturing a product that will be definitely green. So we're starting something very, very friend of the environment and respectful of the nature and of what our customers are doing. So we have a look at it, and that's our main focus for the future.
Oh, very good. This morning as well, we just saw some presentations from the DTG market, and of course the new trend of DTF.
Yeah.
Talking about heat transfers, is that a competition for your sector?
Well, Mike, many people, to be honest, ask me the same question. So if we are scared or worried about this technology, I like to repeat the same sentence. Nothing is created, nothing is destroyed, but everything is transferred. If you just think at the screen printing 25 years ago, then started the digital printing, many people thought that the screen printing was over, and it was not true, definitely. It just transformed. And now we can see something different and more creative in the screen printing. The same is you. Very quickly, this market, so the DTG and DTF, is giving just an opportunity, but people have to invest a lot of money for this kind of technologies that are really nice. What I wanted to point out is that this kind of material is still something that you can do with all the devices the artisans, or in any case the companies, have in-house right now. So a digital printer and a cutting plotter. So I don't think that the DTG and the DTF will definitely change this sort of panorama. It will be something more in the garment decoration, but again, this material can go on anything like paper and carton and many, many different materials where the DTG and DTF cannot go. So
Fantastic.
happy to have this on board, but not afraid of them.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Marco, for your presentation. Of course, you and the team will be live in 20 minutes in the sessions.
Yeah.
So to learn more about HTV, and then tomorrow to learn more about digital printing on heat transfer vinyl, please join the team from Bflex. Thank you, Marco.
Was my pleasure staying here with you. Thank you very much. Thanks, Mike.
Ciao, grazie.